Okay, now that I finished those 8, let's get started with the next 8. Okay, first one for my physical book. I am rereading The Shadow of the Gods by John Gwynne. John Gwynne being another author that I absolutely love and have read, and will read everything he has written because he's that good of a storyteller. His books tend to be maybe a little bit of a slow start at first because you don't really know what's going on. You've got multiple perspectives, and once you get to know the characters, you fall in love with them. You want to find out how they're doing. Every now and then, you'll switch over to a bad character that you really don't want to that you really don't care about, and then you're just like, how is this person not dead yet? I love his books. So I first found this book a couple years ago when I took the kids to Barnes & Noble because we missed the Scholastic Book Fair. And Jet, my youngest, really wanted the zombie books. This one and The Hunger of the Gods, the second one. He really wanted the zombie books. He just cried for them, and I wouldn't have got him except I was intrigued by the cover, by the blurb on the back, and finally I was just like, you know what? Let's just try it. Let's just try reading the books. And so I did buy them. Okay, yeah, a little bit was to stop Jet from freaking out, but because that's the only book he wanted as well. So I was like, why not? If I like them, I'll keep them. So I bought The Shadow of the Gods and The Hunger of the Gods. Unbeknownst to me, there is a third book, The Fury of the Gods, that wasn't going to come out for a long time. So when I reached the end of Hunger of the Gods, and it left on the cliffhanger that it was, well, John Gwynne had stopped writing for a little bit because his daughter passed away. Completely understandable. So he didn't want to, he needed to take some personal time before he finished with the third book. So now I am rereading The Shadow of the Gods, and like a year and a half later, The Fury of the Gods came out. So that's why I'm rereading Shadow of the Gods. Next will be Hunger of the Gods, and then I can finally find out how the story ends. This is the Bloodsworn trilogy by John Gwynne. First book is Shadow of the Gods. I'm so excited to get back into this story. Love them. Next book is the fourth book in the Voice of Life, in the Spoken Mage series, Voice of Life by Melanie Cellier. So this is the ending of this book. There is a novella afterwards that I'll probably read. Just continuation of Alina and how she's going to basically stop this war between Calloway and Arden. That one is going to be on my Kindle app on my phone. On my Kindle device, I'm going to read the third book in Lady Wynwood's Spies, Aggressor, by Camille Elliot. Again, we're continuing on with what's going to happen. I don't want to put any spoilers here, so I don't know what the blurb is, but we're going to see if they're able to defeat Apothecary Jack, and or what's going to happen. Like, how does this spread out over 6 books without figuring out who's going to do what? And try not to kill anybody, because there's these 2 couples in each, like, there's 4 sets of couples that need to get together, and you know which couples they are during the series, but it's, like I said, it's spread out over 6 books, and so you're just like, come on. Okay, next one on the Book Funnel app on my phone is going to be Curvy Girls Can't Date Surfers. This is the last book that I will be reading on the Curvy Girls Club. This says 3.0. This follows Dez's brother, Diego, and a girl we haven't met yet that we know of, in the place that they live, which is in California, not too far from Hollywood. So that one's going to be interesting. The next one would be the Bookshelf app that I have, which is a e-book library run by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And so this is the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints based series. I'm reading The Great and the Terrible, Where Angels Fall. And like I said, the first The first book in this series was not in my previous current reads video because I had decided to start reading it like maybe a day later or 2 days later and just never got around to sharing it. So Where Angels Fall, and this is following the four siblings from the previous book down into Earth life. So the first book, they were in the pre-mortal existence, and the second book, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth book, they're all going to be here on Earth, dealing with Earth's trials. All right, on the Nook device is Frostsight by Jessica Deen Norris. And this, again, we're continuing. This is the second book in the Dragon Guardian Chronicles. We are continuing Tiber and Lucy's journey with Tiber's dragon, and maybe Lucy will get a dragon. And then we'll see. Like I said, this series kind of reminds me a little bit of Aragon because there is an evil emperor with his own dragon, and he's the only one that has a dragon. And I don't know if they got to defeat him or if he's going to have a redemption arc or what. We'll find out. On the Nook app, I decided to read a Stephen King novel, Never Flinch. On Goodreads, this calls this the Holly Ghibli #4 book. So he must have multiple books that you can read apart that have Holly Ghibli as a character in there. Seeing as I haven't read a bunch of his lately, even though he is an author that I tend to read pretty much all of his stuff. The only books I refuse to reread of his is the Pet Sematary book. Because I think that book is, well, children and animals coming back to life and being evil are creepy things for me anyway. So yeah, Stephen King, Never Flinch. What is this about? Well, a person sends a letter to the police station saying that they are going to kill 13 innocent people and 1 guilty person. And there's more involved with that, and the blurb talks about it. But so far, that's what I've got. I've already started that one. And the last one will be what I'm listening to through my Audible app. I bought it at the suggestion of a client who takes care of a feral colony of cats and brings them into us when they're sick or whatnot. And we are reading it from my church's book club that we have. And because I suggested it, because nobody else suggested a book, so it was me. I was like, this is my next read on Audible. And they all just kind of went with it. So now I'm hosting at the end of the month and leading that discussion. But it's Poet Square, a memoir of 30 cats by Courtney Gustafson. From what I understood of the blurb, and I haven't even started listening to it yet, she moves in the midst of a pandemic into this place that has, and basically inherits from the house that she buys or maybe rents, a feral colony of cats, and it goes through her basically her journey of learning how to deal with these cats, their illnesses, having to put them down if they're really sick and unable to be helped, and the kittens that might be born there. And yeah, so it's going to be an interesting read. And that's my 8 books for the next however long it takes me.